Hey guys, welcome back. I need to get these pinball heads fixed, and I want to cut the bottom for silver ball cabinet tonight. Since I have the tools out, I might as well get all this stuff cut tonight. I'm gonna start with this head. I was gonna see about gluing this one back together, these pieces here, but they're kind of flimsy, and I don't think they're gonna glue very well. See how it's real thin, papery? So I think what I'm going to do is I have some 1/4-inch plywood out there. It's about the thickness of this. I think I'm going to cut this straight here, put a new piece on here, across here, and down to here, and then I'll Bondo the rest of that. And I'll just give him these pieces back so that he can mimic the artwork on it again. Because this, I just don't see this going back together well. You see how it's all busted up and everything from them prying it off to get the glass out. This is part of those pinballs that somebody stole all the back glass from out of a warehouse. So that's where I'm at with this one. So let's get this one going and glued, and then I can move on to the next one. I don't know if I'm missing a piece in here or not. I don't know. But I'm going to grab my multi-tool so I can cut this straight on both spots. And then we can figure out what we need to do as far as, using these old pieces as templates. Okay, I'm going to stick my straight edge right here because that's going to make this cut straight. Holding it right to the outside of the cabinet. It's going to cut straight down. Same thing on this side. Now I got to pull out these staples. There was a staple right where I cut. Okay, these brackets hold the glass. Okay, let's clean up this side. I have a total of 4 heads to fix. I don't want to take all this off because new plywood versus old plywood. New plywood is thinner because it's made in millimeters now versus inches. Because, you save a 32nd or a 64th of an inch per sheet of plywood nowadays. After so many sheets, you get a free sheet of plywood. That's pretty much how everything works nowadays. Everything's just cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And then I'm left with trying to fix it because I'm trying to match old up to new. now that I've gotten the edge cleaned up, I'm gonna use this as my template. Now, in all reality, I could flip it upside down and make this side first. Now I'm gonna have to cut this out of a couple pieces and have a seam. No big deal. We'll Bondo it up. Maybe, yeah. Go like this. We use the top straight factory edge of the piece of plywood. Then we will trace this part. Looks like right here is where the curve starts. So I'll come straight across. Now I'm going to have to measure how far down I have to come from the top edge to here. And we're at 11 7/16. Now, keep in mind, we use the straight edge on the side of that cabinet. We're gonna, or the square. We're gonna go ahead and use a square on the side of this piece of plywood, and that should get us really close to being square with what I cut on there. Is it going to be perfect? No, probably not. Yes, I know I need to make one of those shirts. I'm going to do something else. Right where I cut it here, I'm going to see what my width is on this piece. My width is right where I cut it, 2 1/4, so 2 1/4 heavy. So 2 1/4, one line past 2 1/4, 5/16. And then we're just going to connect the dots here. We're going to go from there up to where this radius. Does that look right to me? Right up to here. Why is that wrong? Because I did it wrong. No big deal, we'll fix it. So I have to go like this. I have to draw this outside edge first, then the inside edge. There we go. Now it looks right. No, it still doesn't look right. What am I doing wrong here? Screwing something up. 2 1/4. Why is that not going 2 1/4? What's going on here? Let's just start over. I don't like where that's going. $11 7/16. And this should be 2 5/16. Just about, yeah, just damn close. Okay, so I'm good with that. Now, we're turning the corner. So we'll just line this up. Okay. This side's got to come down from the top edge. $20 and 5/16. Ooh, you might be able to get this all in one piece. Now this width down there should be 1.5. Looks pretty good to me. If we're off a tiny bit, we'll just sand it off. Okay, so this is the piece that I need. Now this one, I'm just gonna eyeball it. So that's what we gotta cut out. Right there and around the outer perimeter. I'm gonna probably use my table saw first and then my jigsaw. Grab my glasses. Battery's dying, but I think we'll make it through this piece at least. Now I'm going to set my fence up to 1.5 inches. Oh, I gotta take this out. right, let's see if it fits. Getting cold out, it's getting dark. I call that a pretty good success, other than that cut's crooked. Widthwise is pretty damn good. Same thing over here. But this cut right here is crooked, but that's fine. No big deal. Bondo it in. So this we can glue and nail it, and then I just need to do a little bit of body work to it, and this head will be done. So let's get the glue out. Oh, you know what? I can fix that. We're a little tall here. We're actually tall on both sides. So I can fix that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna overlap, line my top up, grab my straight edge, and we will just straighten this bad boy out. Don't know how I drew it. Oh, I know why it's crooked. I'm a dummy. The head's on an angle. I thought this was 90 degrees straight. Okay, that's no big deal. Luckily, that's why I have the room on the plywood to cut this back. All right, cut these two real quick. I'm kind of showing this whole thing so you guys get an idea of exactly how I'm doing it. And if you're wondering, if you saw me cutting some of the plywood, I was using 2 hands, and everybody says, don't use 2 hands when you're using a table saw. Yes, that's true to a point, but I've been doing it for a long, long time, and I kind of got an idea of when it's going to kick back or not, so I don't really worry about it much. But yeah, you should definitely take caution when doing it. If you feel any sort of binding, stop, because it's going to kick back at you at that point. I'm not doing any paint work on any of these heads. He's going to take care of it. I am merely just fixing the broken up wood. Oh, I ran out of brads. Grab a couple brads real quick here. That pretty much happens every single time I use the brad gun. My DeWalt brad gun keeps messing up on me. Go figure. $400 nail gun messes up. $100 Bauer from Harbor Freight works. Go figure. Oops. Came through the top a little bit here. Break that off real quick here. Must have hit a staple or something in the wood. That's why you don't keep your hands close to where you're nailing, because if I had my hand right there, it went right into my thumb. All right, that side's nailed. Top is nailed. Okay. Got to do a hair of sanding on these edges. This one's overhung a little bit, so we're just going to knock that down a little bit. I'm going to hand sand in here to get rid of any splinters. Do a little bit of Bondo over these 2 cracks and this little torn up area here, and this one's done. Let me grab my sander. Forgot this sander's messed up. Needs rebuilt again. Trying to keep it away from the artwork. I don't want to disturb the artwork. Okay, I have some short strand fiberglass mixed up. I have more mixed up than I need because I have to start filling in the corner of another one. Now, I'm not going to get these done tonight. I'm going to have them done tomorrow night. I'm going to drop them off on Wednesday because I have to go to Progressive on Wednesday to sign paperwork on a car that a deer totaled our Bronco. So basically, we hit a deer. Nobody got hurt, but the repair cost was over $14,000, so they said, you know what, we're just going to total it. So now I have to drive an hour from my house to go to Progressive to sign papers so that I can get my money that Progressive owes me for the vehicle. Because the vehicle is just about paid off. I owe very little on it. So they have to, but it's just, they make everything so freaking inconvenient for people. It's like I don't have anything else to do than drive around and sign paperwork for Progressive. So it works out good as far as me going there Wednesday morning because this guy is only about 15 minutes from where I gotta go. So it'll work out good for me. But yeah, it's just wrecking your car and paying insurance your whole life, and this being my first claim ever, them giving me such a hard time is ridiculous. And then if you live in Ohio, get this one. You're going to like this one. If you live in Ohio, they keep the money, the tax money on the money, the check they write you, okay? So when you buy a vehicle, they'll reimburse you the tax up to the amount that they withheld. But if the tax on the new vehicle you buy, because I'm just going to buy a vehicle outright, I'm not going to get a loan. So if the tax on the new vehicle that you buy is lower than the amount they took out, they get to keep the rest. So if you, so it's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my freaking life. How is that even like illegal? How can that even be, how can they steal money like that? I don't get it. So if you get a check back or you buy a vehicle, then they reimburse you for the taxes up to the amount that they took out. If you go over, it comes out of your pocket. If you go under, it goes in their pocket. So I thought that was pretty nice of them to tell me. They say it's the state of Ohio's law, which I don't know. I find it a little fishy, but what am I gonna do? Hire a lawyer? Yeah, okay. That'll work out great. So this I'm just filling in with short strand fiberglass. That's what he wanted me to do with it. And that's what we're doing. It'll be fine. That's the first coat. I'm actually gonna mix up a little bit more and put more in here. I'm gonna do that off camera. And then I'll come back and we will start working on the next one. All right, I have that all filled in. Once that's sanded down, it's just gonna need a little bit of Bondo and that'll be fixed. So basically on this video tonight, what I'm gonna do is try to get all the woodwork. I'm not gonna try, I'm gonna get all the wood cut for all these cabinets, get them put back together, get the short strand fiberglass on what I need to get it on. And then tomorrow night, I can do the little bit of body work that needs to be done, load them in my van, take them with me Wednesday morning, and it'll work out perfectly like that. So next, I want to get the top of this cut because I'm going to have to do a little bit of fiberglass work here. Or, I don't know, I might be able to actually make a piece of luan for that. All right, let's see how crooked that's cut. If I can find my tape measure. All right, so it looks like this comes to, let's just measure it this way. 5 3/8. Yeah, 5 3/4. All right, so we need to straighten this out. I don't really think I want to bust it off the cabinet. So what I think I want to do is just flip it upside down and leave this connected and just cut it on the table saw connected together. I will get a little cut through each side, 3/4 of an inch down. I'll put a little Bondo in it. It'll be fine. Just want to make sure I'm not going to cut through this mechanism. It should be fine. I'll just make sure I set my blade just at about 3/4 of an inch. So I am going to put my fin back in the saw. The reason why I use the fin is it helps guide the cut straighter. Oh, you know what? I can't use the fin because the fin sticks up higher than the blade. And if I set it at precisely 3/4 of an inch, that'll be sticking up higher and it's going to get hung up on it. All right, so now I need to set this to 3/4. Okay, now we're gonna go 5. What did I say? 5 1/4 on the short side. 5 3/8. So we're gonna go 5 1/4. Okay. I knew that was going to happen. I knew the battery was going to run out. Grab another battery. If you're wondering, these are 9 amp hour batteries, 60 volt. And it looks like I need to possibly bring the blade a little bit higher. I can't tell. Well, let's see what happens. That'll probably make you guys sick. I just spun the camera around really quickly. Everybody's now throwing up. Beautiful. Throw that in the bin. Okay, we got a little bit of debris right here. Okay, now we can cut a square piece. We don't have to worry about it being cut at an angle. Now we have to go from here to there. And we're at between 6 3/8 and 6 7/16. I think we can get a 6 7/16 in there. So I need to cut it to length first, and then 6 7/16. So our length of it is 28 inches. Where'd I put my pencil? I lost my pencil already. Perfect. 6 7/16. Now we can put the fin back in. My blade's getting dull. Perfect, absolutely perfect. So now, let's get this glued in, nailed in. Then we'll move on to the front. So we are going to fill this with glue here. Put some on the side here. And then we're just gonna run it right down here. Just on the one side. Jam it together and it'll be good. brad gun. Yeah, if you guys want to save yourself a ton of money and you're doing little projects like this, just go buy the Bauer brad gun from Harbor Freight for $100. That's all you need. Most of this stuff is pine and plywood. Don't go spending $400 or $500 on a DeWalt or a Milwaukee, because if you're not using it every day, it's not worth it. Hell, you buy the expensive one like I did, and it still breaks. Okay. Now I got to make an inside piece here. The top is on. So now we got to make this piece here. It's got to be the same width as this on the back edge there, because that's really important for the glass. So the glass fits flush in here. So tape measure at the very highest point here, we have 2 7/8, but it needs to be cut at an angle. So let's make it 3 1/4, and then we'll lay it in there, mark my angle so I can get an accurate angle, and then we'll cut it again. Width wise, we're at 27 3/16. Let's just cut it at 3 1/4. You know what? Let's just not cut it at 3 1/4. I'll just hold it in there and we're going to make one cut. You know what the problem is, though, is that I am going to have to cut it at 3 1/4 because I got to sneak it underneath that thin piece right there. So let me cut this at 3 1/4 real quick. Tight one. That's going to probably be almost impossible to get in there with this side piece on. Well, I'm going to have to cut it short. You're not going to see that it's short, because the side rails cover the gap. It is what it is. Took about 3/16 off, just enough. So I'm going to hold it flush on the back side with my finger, just on this side. Then I can get my angle here by just going like this. Probably should have put a little bit of an angle on that one, but it'll work. So now I have my angle. That looks to be 5 degrees, I would say, somewhere in that area. Bring it over here, check it. Come up with about 7 degrees. What sucks is I'm gonna have to cut this here. It goes that way. So I'm gonna have to put the fence up real close to the blade. There's barely just a pencil line showing. So we should be about perfect. Close enough. I really get into my work. Oh man, what am I doing? Okay, now we just got to make this top trim. This is square, so if I use my square and cut it straight this time, it should be all right. Putting these extra pieces in the van now before I forget. Hit a staple. So this wood is thicker than the plywood. So I'm actually going to have to cut it down out of a piece of the pine, which I've done before. So this is like 3/8. It's about half the thickness of a 3/4 inch piece. You gotta see how wide it is. The banding stays the same all the way around. One and a half. I might piece this together in 3 pieces, just for the simple fact that I don't want to waste that last piece I have over there because I need it for the side of this cabinet, which is probably not wide enough, which means hopefully I have enough to butt 2 together. If not, I'm going to have to scrounge around to see if I have any more pine. Looks about right. Just check it for thickness. Yeah, it's about dead on. So what I'm going to do actually is this is actually the perfect length to stop it here. I'll run this piece up without a miter and we'll just bondo it, because I'm going to have to bondo it anyways. You'll never even notice that it's not miter. So I'm just going to put a 45-degree cut on that side. Okay, I need to make a little piece for there. Let's see if I have another little piece here I can use. Hopefully that's long enough. I didn't even think about that. I don't think it's long enough. I have to make another one. Yep, not long enough. Crap. All right, no big deal. I have a little bit left on this wood I can cut off. 3 1/4. Beautiful. Honestly, yeah, we'll just do a little bit of Bondo just to hide the fact that one side doesn't have a miter. Gotta do Bondo on the side anyway, so it does not matter. Grab my sander here. Beautiful. A little bit of Bondo there, a little bit on this side. I think I can use Bondo for this. I'll just mix up a little fiberglass. Okay, that's another one that's close. Like I said, it'll need some sanding tomorrow and a little bit of Bondo. And now for the disaster. That I'm probably just going to Bondo because I don't currently have a big thick piece of wood like that. We got to cut these nails off first. I'm going to go grab my cutoff wheel. All right. A couple more pieces over here. This is actually made out of plywood, or at least these pieces are. Yeah, looks like a lot of it's made out of plywood. So in all reality, I could just make the side of this one out of plywood. That gives me my width in one piece. Then I have plenty of wood left to do what I got to do. I got a piece of plywood over there. It's got some paint on the inside, but it's not a big deal. cutting that on a table saw. Very weird smelling. Kind of smells like an aquarium. I'm just going to cut through this on the saw. I'm probably going to cut a staple or two, but my blade's shot anyway, so it's not going to hurt it. Just make sure you wear safety glasses so that it doesn't come flinging up in your eyeball. Okay. So now I have to think about this because we need to make sure that we make it for the opposite side. This part doesn't matter. When I go to cut the grooves is when it's going to matter. Oops. Screwed up. Gotta go down here. Round two. Fight. There we go. Here we go to that second line. Gonna just freehand it on the table saw. Getting dark out here, guys. Getting dark. Okay, so now we have to figure out our notching. So this is going to be like that. So we have to flip it like this. And what I'm actually going to do is hold it flush on the bottom side and use that as my template, maybe. Can't see it. About 3/4 of an inch, and it's only about a heavy eighth, maybe 3/16 by 3/4 of an inch. see if the back is let in 3/4 as well. 7/8 on the back. Bring this up to 7/8. The back is different than the sides as far as how far in it goes. That's wrong. Gotta go no, a little bit more, I think. A little bit more. I screwed up. I knew I was going to screw it up. I got it, put the groove on the wrong side. I knew it. So I just duplicated the same side I made. Oh well, I got more plywood. Can't win them all, guys. I knew I was going to do that too. I was like, I got to make sure I don't do that. And what do? I do it. Oh no, did I do it? Ha! I am right. I thought I had it wrong. Sweet. I'm losing my mind. All right. becoming a pinball head again, guys. Okay, I have to make that piece go underneath it. A lot of these original ones, they use staples. I'm using brads with a lot of glue because the brad holes you don't really see. The staple holes you will see a lot worse. So now we got to make a piece for here, piece for the top. I got to put that other side piece on, and then that's pretty much it, other than body work for it. What's going on here? Okay, so I just gotta cut these now. Actually, see, I got it exactly perfect. I think I can get both pieces out of the one, actually. Yep. We'll cut that point down. I should cut this one off camera. Beautiful. It's a little long down here. I'll just shave that off with my multi-tool. Went through a whole nother thing of breads. I'll just sand that down a little bit. I'm gonna go eat dinner, come back, and put some short strand fiberglass on this stuff. And then I'm gonna make the bottom for the silver ball. And then that's the end of this video. Tomorrow night, we'll get back out here. We'll wrap up all these pin heads. Probably put the bottom in the, maybe we'll put the bottom in the silver ball tonight. We'll probably put the bottom in the silver ball tonight since I have all the tools out. And then tomorrow night we'll do the bodywork to the heads, and those will be done. And then I'll probably come out here Thanksgiving in the morning maybe and work on Robotron and Sinistar. I'm not sure yet, or I'm going to work in the basement. So I'll be back here in a little bit. All right, let's get this bottom piece cut. I got a piece of plywood out here. It's got a little water damage on that side, but it's plenty long enough to where I can cut it from this side down that way. So first let's rip it to the width, which I think is 21 inches. Yep, 21 exactly. Lost my safety glasses. All right, so I'm gonna run it through the saw twice. It's 21 inches. I'm gonna run it through the saw at 23, I think. Let me see how wide that piece is. Maybe 22 and a half. It's 23, so I'll go 22 and a half. Put the factory edge against the fence. Now we can set it at 21. Flip it around and run our cut along the fence. Curious if this is straight. 62 and a half, within 1/8 of an inch. So let me get the length of this thing. It's probably going to be 44. Nope, 50 and a half. So if it's 50 and a half, this damaged water edge here is factory cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the fence at 10 inches. Now I gotta figure out what was the length again. 50 and a half. I'm gonna stay out of the way because chances are this piece might go flinging. It didn't. All right. Hair off. I'm going to freehand this straighter. I think this side's crooked. Yep. Okay, we'll straighten it out. Use this as my template. Oh boy, I'll trip on a nail. There you go. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna use a multi-tool to put slots, and then I'm gonna jigsaw this stuff out. right, now I got to make these two circles. I could use a hole saw, but by the time I get all that stuff out, I'll have this done. This one I'll need a hole saw for. Actually, I need a Forstner bit. Now, I don't know if I have any Forstner bits out here. I gotta go look. Okay, just gotta find something close to the size that originally was drilled. It's 1.5 inches. It's gotta be 1 5/8 is my guess. Yep. And the inside hole is probably, don't know if I'm gonna have one small enough for the inside hole. 1 inch is a hair big. Could probably use a step bit. Get it set to the depth I need. Tighten down the table. This thing plugged in? No. Where is it? Why is the light not coming on? Oh, it's not plugged in all the way. Aha. over tighten the blade. Now it's going to be off at the wrong height. Tighten the blade first. I knew I was forgetting something. Look at that, what a guess. Why is this thing so slow? I feel like something's dragging on it. Might just need some oil. Idea why that is so stiff. Go get a step bit. We'll use that. Come on. Can't go much more than that. Won't be able to get the piece of wood in there. Okay, there's my new switch holder. All right, now we can put the bottom on this thing. I got to remember that when it's spun this way, the switch is on this side. Let's see if this fits. Originally it had a slotted groove, but obviously we can't put that back in there. Half of the groove's busted off, and you'd have to take the cabinet apart in order to do it. So it looks like this is gonna fit. So what we need to do is glue it, put this piece in, and then flip it over, because I cut a couple blocks that are missing for a couple of the corners. We'll have to flip it over and put those in. And then this video will be over. Let everything dry tonight. All the first filler is on all the pinball heads. I gotta work on that car tonight still. It's supposed to be getting picked up tomorrow. Need a hammer. Beautiful. I don't think I'm gonna nail these because I don't have short nails right now. And once the glue sets up, where's it gonna go? Especially because I'm gonna flip it over like this for tonight. So basically just throwing these blocks in where they're missing. I think I'm only missing 3. I have 2 extra. I'm just gonna throw them in for extra safety. Not gonna hurt anything. This has to go in. I'm just going to let it sit in there. Same thing with the speaker. I'm just going to let it sit in there. It'll be fine once the glue sets up. We got gravity on our side. Alright guys, that is it for this video. We accomplished a lot. We have all the pinball head woodwork is fixed. They all have a coat of filler on them. And we have the bottom of the silver ball back together. Tomorrow I'll do the body work on these. I'm not doing any painting, any primering or anything. I'm just doing the body work to them and bringing them back to him. He's going to take care of the rest. So these 4 heads will be leaving Wednesday morning. The car is supposed to be leaving tomorrow afternoon. And we could work on silver ball paint work while working on Robotron and Sinistar. We'll flip-flop back and forth because I really want to get the Sinistar and Robotron done. We'll put them in the spray booth out of the way. Then I'll bring the Centipede over here. We'll knock out Centipede, and then he can come get these 3 games, and I believe he's bringing several games with him to get restored. So that's where we're at with that. I want to get Silver Ball knocked out and in the basement so it's out of my way. Same thing with the Playboy cabinet. I want to get that one knocked out as well and get that in the basement so that I don't have to worry about these 2 cabinets being in my way. Plus, I don't want to put them in the back building. So that's my goal. I'm not worried about the metal parts yet for Silver Ball. They're over there. I got to straighten out the metals because I bent them up getting those stupid nails out, which somebody told me I should have just used a Dremel and Dremeled the heads off, which would have been a pretty smart idea. But I didn't think about it. You know, sometimes you don't think about everything. But that would have been a good idea. But anyways, you know, the other thing bad about doing that is you got to be able to hope that you can grab that head. Oh, no, wait. They said to Dremel a slot in it and then use a screwdriver, flathead, and spin it out. That's what it was. If you grind the head off and pop the metal, you might not have enough of that nail left to physically grab it and pull it out. If you can't, then you run the risk of, well, now you have an old metal nail cut off in there and you got to put a new nail in its place, so that would cause a problem. But yeah, I remember now they said use a little Dremel cut off wheel, make a slot, and then spin them out with a screwdriver. So that's what I'll do on the next one, which will be Playboy. So that's where we're at, guys. So stay tuned. Got a lot of videos coming. Like I said, tomorrow night's going to be just getting these heads finished up. And then I'll probably, on Thanksgiving morning, I'll probably come out here for a couple hours and start messing with Robotron and Sinistar. And then I'm probably just going to hang out in the basement the rest of the day. And then I'm off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So maybe those 3 days off, I can finally get these truck doors painted that I was supposed to have painted a month ago. I'm going to make sure a priority to get those painted and to try to get as much of Robotron and Sinistar done this weekend. Then I'll bring the Centipede in here and we'll knock that out. That's just going to be an artwork touch-up, rebuild the monitor. And like I was telling you guys the other day, I'm just going to put 2 newer monitors in the Robotron and Sinistar, some burn-free monitors. I'm not going to screw around with it. Or I got to see what parts I have in the basement. If not, I can order some, but maybe I'll just rebuild those chassis and do a tube swap. Because like I said, I have a couple 19-inch TVs sitting up in the front garage that I could do a tube swap. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Don't forget, hit the thumbs up. Oh, one more thing. This weekend, we got to do the giveaway video. So we're going to do the 10,000 subscriber giveaway video this weekend. That'll probably be a second video one of the weekend days. I'll let you know. Maybe we'll do it on Friday. I'll see what my schedule's like, what I'm doing. But I got to remember how to do it. I'll probably go back to my last giveaway video and watch the video so I can remember what I did. Because to be honest with you, I have no clue what I did. I can't remember what I used. I don't know if I used TubeBuddy or not, but I'm not positive. But I'll figure it out. If not, I know who to ask. That's who I asked last time when I did it. But yeah, we'll probably do it on Friday, the giveaway, but I'm not positive. So if there's anybody that's new to the channel, find the 10,000 subscriber giveaway video that I made showing what I'm giving away. And I need you guys to leave a comment on that video and be subscribed to the channel. So as long as you're subscribed to the channel and you leave a comment on the 10,000 subscriber giveaway video, you'll be entered to win. And what it is everybody who, I take that video, and what the computer does is it generates a winner out of that video through the comments that people left. So if there are 300 comments on that video, you have a 1 in 300 chance of winning. You know what I mean? I don't know how many comments are on that video. I have not honestly gone back and looked at that video in a while, so I have no idea. But thanks, everybody. I got to get working on that car, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.